welcome back to Behind the Internet. I hate to tell you, but this is our last show for 2020. So next year is going to be 2021. Great things are going to happen. Well, 2020 will be over. Let's just put it that way. But just in case you're watching us for the first time, I'm Aaron. I'm one of the outside sales reps for Whisper Internet. And
my name is Jesse. I'm Washington, Missouri, and I do field services. And yeah, like you mentioned, this is the last episode of 2020. And I think I speak for a lot of people. We are ready to get this year turned over. I know it's hard to think back on 2020 and not be negative, but there are a lot of positive things that did happen in 2020. One of those things being we had a lot of really good Facebook Live shows that were real successful and went really well. I guess some of the bad things in 2020, I suppose we don't really need to get into. We have a pandemic that we're going through. We don't need to get into that too much, but we really hope everybody's doing okay out there. Some people unfortunate enough to get COVID. Some have the easy road through it, and I know there's a lot of people that aren't having such an easy road. So we're thinking about you out there. Another thing about 2020, I don't talk politics, but we have a lot of political things going on, and no matter what side of the spectrum you fall on, no matter what happened, everybody woke up the next day or the next few days, and life went on. So here we are. So anyway, this is the last episode of 2020. So we're going to reflect on some of the things that we talked about in previous shows. Things like we talked about routers, evolution of the internet, Zoom calls or Teams calls or Skype calls or whatever type of calls that people go through there when it comes to working from remote or doing anything remote. We did a lot of episodes on mental health, which is extremely important with things that we've been going through this year. Streaming services, a lot more. So we'll take a look back and reflect on some of the things that we talked about and how we're still possibly using some of those things today, Aaron.
Yeah, and if you're watching us today, throw out some comments, tell us some of the things you want to see in 2021 related to the show. There's a lot of things I know we want to see, but related to the show as far as did you like some of the how-to stuff? I know I did a video at the first of the year just on Zoom in general, on just how to use Zoom, and it was really beneficial because I know there's so much going on there. There were Zoom parties, birthday parties, teachers, education, so much going on there. And so, let us know. And even throughout our course of the show, if you think of a topic that you would like to see us talk about more on, hit us in the comments with it. We're ready for more. 2020 is going to be a good year for Whisper. It's going to be a good year for us. And, we want it to be a good year for you as well. But one of the biggest things that came out of 2020 was video conferencing. And hey, are we still having Zoom calls? Are we still doing Zoom meetings? And hey, I know Thanksgiving, Christmas is right around the corner. How many of us are still doing Zoom family events? Been so much going on. I've seen so much creative stuff on that. I've seen even in the photography world, I've seen photo shoots just over Facebook Live and Zoom, and so many people have been really creative with that. So
yeah, no, you're right, and I think right now, physically today, people are using these remote Zoom calls or Teams calls or whatever you want to call them, way more than they ever before. Even when things started picking up a few months back. So I know it's heavy in our work world where we use them. We're using it now. So. Big time. So anybody out there want to make any comments about maybe some new things that you've gotten into? Absolutely. So it also, kind of piggybacking off that, working from home. We did shows on working from home and, tips and tricks and stuff like that. Now, still me physically, I haven't worked from home as much, but I suppose in the last few days, I might have taken a half day here and there to go home and do some studying and work from home. But I know there's people doing 100% of the time working from home. So, and then there's other people that just can't. They just can't work at home at all. So how about you, Aaron? Are you working at home or what are you doing?
I think I'm still doing a little bit of everywhere. I still like my primary office is really at home. It's still, I still struggle with, okay, it's 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, when you normally stop working, I still keep on going on, but that's part of that goal setting mentality. You just keep going. Right. And so it's kind of cool, but it's been kind of adjustment, and I've gotten to the fact where, like, even for me, it's like, I kind of do a hard stop really on Friday evenings, and just kind of dial into the weekend, do other things that kind of de-stress and get away from it, because that is kind of an important thing. But still traveling quite a bit, but working from home, I still have that luxury that I can still travel and see, clients and stuff like that and kind of take care of them. So that is kind of a nice luxury, but there's still a lot of meetings, and most of the time I'm dialing into the meetings at home, right. And, which I don't mind now. It's kind of nice, my coffee pot's right behind me, my house is clean, all the cool stuff that is a benefit that goes along with that. So my dogs like me home more. So that is, there are some major benefits to working at home now. And I see, and luckily I started before the before all of this, working at home. So it was kind of adjust, and then it was like, boom, you're working from home.
No, I hear you with the coffee. I've been trying to limit myself with 2 cups in the morning, and then that's it. So I don't know why I do that, but we'll see. But you also mentioned stress earlier.
Yes.
And that kind of segues right into our next little bit that we can talk about. We did a few episodes on mental health. We had a lot of really good guests come on and give us some tips and tricks about what they do during these times to try to, if you're not going outside as much, they give you tips on how to get yourself outside, and some things to set up around the house, like candles or whatnot. So anything that you picked up from the mental health things?
There was actually quite a bit. And I think that kind of goes along with that, like, hard stop on Friday night, as far as like, okay, this is moving on to the weekend. And it was kind of like, I got to start planning out like certain things. And that was, like, I'll just say it, a couple weeks ago, I even had to use the phrase, I got kidnapped, which that was great because some friends of mine, like, hey, we're going tomorrow to do some waterfall hikes. Yeah. And I like hiking. I like taking pictures of them. And so I was like, all right, Kenneth. And so a little plug out to my buddy Kenneth. And I was like, all right, let's go. And he went like, I'm picking you up, so you have no excuses. He picked me up. Well, I didn't even show back up in my house till like 9:30. Awesome photos, awesome talks. It was great.
Yeah, no, it's that is part of mental health, is keeping contact with friends and family, and maybe setting up accountability. Like, hey, I'm gonna check in on you, you check in on me, and every once in a while we'll force each other to do some things.
Oh, so, yeah. Even on some of that too, I liked some of our talks, even that. Even our HR department is even doing with Inside Whisper as far as coffees and like Tuesday mornings, and then just all of us like kind of getting together socially through our video conferencing. So there's been a lot of cool stuff that came out of the mental health as well. So because it is something we all definitely need.
No, that's a good point to kind of bring it back to our work areas. Our HR department's done a really good job of keeping tabs on everybody, sending messages, making sure everybody's okay. Any questions? So, there's been a lot of good things coming out of a lot of things that are not so good. So, absolutely. But let's see here. What else we got on the docket?
We did some really cool stuff on. just apps, organizational apps, and this
Yeah.
kind of really great topics because a lot of people are working from home too again. And then going on, we had Jessica Lotz who came on to talk about organizational apps. I still still use one of her techniques that she talks a lot about because she even did a show with Apple Watches, and just pressing that dial like, hey Siri, remind me to do this and that. Make sure Siri's not talking back. But, and that was kind of a very useful thing. I was like, man, that's on my wrist every day. I'm driving. Obviously, you can't, like, as I'm thinking about things, like, oh, I need to write that down, using my watch just to make sure that's taken care of has helped me out a lot. So,
yeah, that Apple Watch or the smartwatch episode was cool with all the different things. There was one of the apps called is it Just Breathe, right?
yes.
Is it called Just Breathe or Just Breathe? I can't remember if it's Breathe or Just Breathe. Yeah.
Yeah. Like your watch will kind of predict if you're stressed because it's monitoring your heart rate, and it'll tell you kind of stop and just breathe.
Right.
And that's kind of a cool thing. And like there's times like I don't even realize like I might be stressed, and I'm like my watch will vibrate and say breathe. I'm like, that's cool. Okay.
Yeah. And pretty amazing how deep these watches can go. I've ridden along with some coworkers with the watch. I mean, we'll be conversation, and they're just constantly looking at their. It must be buzzing their arm or something like that. It's just, and I'm looking over there like, we need to get somewhere real quick, or you got somewhere you need to go, and I think it's just all the notifications that's popping up on his phone and being transferred to the watch. So.
And especially the ability just to answer your calls from it. I know when I was still in towers and I first got my Apple Watch, I was actually on a tower and like talking, through my watch. I didn't have to take my phone out of my pocket and answer it. You're tied off, obviously. But then, yeah. So, and I thought, oh, that's kind of cool. So, it worked out a couple times there. So, but yeah, organizational apps was an awesome episode. I think we've even had a couple of episodes even on our Whisper Home app, talking about our new Calix routers with
Gabe Peterson, right? He was an awesome guest. Really had a lot of great information, and I think he was on. And then before he came on again, I had gotten one of those new routers for my home. Got the Whisper Home app on my phone, and I can't tell you how much I use it, how much it notifies me whenever something new on my phone. It notifies me when there's a new device connected to it.
Yep.
Just the other day, I think I clicked and opened up an email, and I got a notification on my phone just instantly. Bam! You've opened up an email that seems bad or phishing or whatever it was. So it kind of blocked it on my computer, and then my phone just email was open. I'm like, oh, okay, because I'm usually pretty good at not doing that. So I was like, oh, I'm not going to mess with this one then. So it did that for me. I was able to group different devices and computers up, like the ones my son uses. I was able to group those up and be able to do some filtering and with those, and set some time limits and things. So I'm really enjoying that new router and that Whisper Home app. And I believe he'll be on with us again with some more updates. So we're always glad to see Gabe back. How have you been using your? You've got a router now?
Yeah, so I have one here actually at my studio, and it's kind of neat because obviously I like the speed test on it, and I always show customers this, like even when I'm out with them face to face, is I can show them like, yeah, even the app you hit the speed test, and it's not just doing a speed test on what you're getting on that device, but it does it at the router, and I can show them that and see like, hey, here's what I'm getting at my studio right now. And this is how it works out. So instead of like kind of gets that conversation going as far as the speed test and when you got fast internet at my studio, it kind of, hey, yeah, we can do it. So that's kind of neat.
Yeah.
And I do like the feature, like every time a device connects, because actually this is my studio is, just so you know, it's a shared studio. And so even like all my partners in my studio, I was able to set them up with a profile on the app. And so it's kind of neat, because I got the office stuff that's always connected.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of neat. I can see like, Is anybody in the studio? Oh yeah, somebody is at the studio. Okay, cool. So that's kind of cool, actually. So
Yeah, a lot of customization. I've been really impressed with how these routers work in that Whisper Home app. It sounds like we're like plugging our own thing, but no, we're actually using this and it's working out really well. It's really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is really neat, and I really like it. So
right.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, if anybody has any questions on how to get this, if you don't already have one of the new Whisper routers, the Calix router, you can always comment in the comments and someone will reach out to you and let you know how to get one of these and how to get that Whisper Home app on your phone. And so you can start doing some of your own customization. But just to piggyback on what you just talked about, just the speed test alone, you're absolutely right. Most of the time when you're doing a speed test, you're doing it from a device and that's going through something else. Being able to do a speed test from your router that skips a couple of those other steps will give you a more accurate speed test about what's going on with your internet connection. So, yeah, that stuff is extremely, extremely nice.
And you know, one thing that was really cool about 2020 for us is our shows are on YouTube. So that's pretty cool. I mean, we've been doing it now a year and we're on YouTube. So
yeah, you're the master plugger. I don't even think about that they're on YouTube now. So yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. I mean,
so does that mean we got to step up our game, or just because it's on YouTube, or no? Just be natural. Just keep being yourself.
2021, it's happening.
Yeah, you got it. So good Whisper YouTube plug there, my friend. Another really good few shows that we've done, or at least a couple. I think we've done 3. I think we've done one on our own, and then we had a special guest, Jess Barnes from Cord Cutters News. Yeah. I love those because just cutting the cord, and there's so many people using their internet connection for watching TV and streaming and all that kind of stuff. Really good information there about the different devices that you can stream on, like your Roku devices or your Fire Sticks, or you got your gaming consoles like your Xboxes, PlayStations, you got an Apple. There's so many different ones out there, and it's good to have a professional come in and kind of break down what's out there, what's good with each one, stuff like that. So, yeah, great to have her, and hopefully we can have her back again on what's new coming up, hopefully in January, February of 2021. But when it comes to streaming services, Aaron, I'm really curious what you've been using lately.
Oh, man. So actually, I found a new one on Amazon Prime, and I hope I get these initials right. But I think we've talked about it on our show. It's IMB. Man, somebody's going to have to help me out on this one. Didn't even think about it. But, yeah, it's basically free TV.
Right.
For some reason, obviously we've all had our binge watching moments on different shows, but I've been binge watching a show called Heroes here lately. So please watch that. Please tell me I'm not alone. Throw it in the comments. It's really cool. I'm like constantly like, okay, what's the next thing happen? And I figured out a trick, by the way, like if you're like binge watching and it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, and you're thinking, I got to turn this off and I want to watch the show. Turn it off in the middle of the show so you don't get that cliffhanger.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta see what happened next. Turn it off in the middle of the show. It works.
Okay. I naturally turn mine off in the middle of the show. Well, my wife turns it off in the middle of the show because I fall asleep eventually. So that happens all the time. But yeah, I'm trying to think of what we've been watching lately. My wife and I have been watching Peaky Blinders. That's been a pretty good one. I believe that one's on Netflix. We've been going through The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian's been really picking up. So Yoda, it now has a name. Everybody used to call Yoda Baby Yoda in that show, but now Yoda, it's not actually Yoda. He's got a name, so I'm not going to give it out to anybody. You'll have to watch it yourself, but that's pretty neat. But yeah, I still use Roku at my house, the Roku Ultra. It's been a really awesome device and really responsive, really fast. Of course, we use your Netflix. We've got a Hulu account. I've got YouTube TV at the moment. I've got too many things at the moment, actually. But
Yep.
the cool thing is, and I've explained this before, when it comes to these paid streaming services, that all you got to do is just cancel them. You go in there, you cancel it. There's no link. Usually, there's no link to term contracts. You cancel it, and then bam! If you need to pick it up in a month or two, you can pick it right back up again to make it really easy and go for it. So yeah, I know what type. So you don't do YouTube TV. I know the last time I talked to you, you've done Sling. Are you still doing Sling?
Yeah, I'm still using Sling. I think this will be I mean, this is probably like my 4th or 5th year in a row that I've been loyal to Sling, just watching Sling all the way through. And I mean, my other stuff, it kind of depends what I'm in the mood for. But most of like, if I want to catch something just on like kind of regular TV, which would be like, TNT, FX, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I got my Sling account. Amazon Prime, obviously still doing that. And then also Netflix. Who's not doing Netflix now? So between those three, those are like really my three main ones. And of course, the device, I've got my still smart TV that has all those apps. But then I've got my non-smart TV. Then I've got my Roku device on. And one thing I talk a lot about with the Roku devices is if you don't have a smart TV, get a Roku. Pretty much makes it a smart TV. And the nice thing is, all I like about them is they stay up to date with all the new stuff, going on. Like, like picking on AT&T TV a little bit is, you get AT&T TV that'll stream up to 3 devices. You get 1 device, but then the other 2, I always recommend get a Roku device because the app will go on the Roku nice and smoothly. It'll go on
the AT&T app will go on the Roku. Is that what you're saying? Okay,
that's
I got
correct.
it. Right.
Yeah. So, and those that don't know, as AT&T TV it's a platform that uses online, but it uses Dish Network packages.
Gotcha.
So, you could get like the choice package for like $64.99.
Right.
So there's the salesman coming out of me. My bad.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you.
So, but then you can nice thing is you can watch it on your TV, just like you're coming home, turn it on TV and boom, there you go. And as far as the other ones, you can watch them on the Roku device, your laptop, or your any kind of smartphone if you're out. So kind of cool feature there too.
Yeah,
so,
those are nice features, and that's
AT&T TV.
AT&T TV, very good.
Yeah. Like the startup fee on it is like $19.99. They send you a box, and they ship those suckers out fast. I'm still waiting on Amazon packages, and I sold one of the AT&T TVs, and lady has it today. I sold it to her yesterday. So.
Oh, wow, that is fast. I'll have to definitely look into that a little bit more. Now, you mentioned smart TV a little bit ago, and I know that this really wasn't on our list, but I know you are a smart home type of guy. You got lots of things going on. We've talked about it in episodes in the past. Have you gotten anything new when it comes to smart devices recently? Or?
So I've got, I pretty much have Alexa everywhere.
Okay.
Speaking of which. I'm waiting for mine to go up. I've pretty much got them everywhere. I've got them in my office, my studio, and at home now. And I like the Echo Show. The Echo Show is pretty cool. And actually, recently, my girlfriend got an Echo Show, and she got the Ring device. It was so cool how those actually corresponded together. So when somebody rings her doorbell or walks by, it instantly shows up on her Echo Show.
Oh, yeah. So
you
got the Echo Show. It's like a little TV screen. I think it's a Echo Show 8 or something. Is it the 8 or what? Okay. So you got the Echo Show 8. It's like this little TV screen that'll show random. It might show just while it's resting, it'll show random pictures or maybe the time of day or weather or whatnot. So it's synced up with the Ring device. So when anybody comes up to the door, it'll automatically show up on there. So if it's in a spot where you can always see, you can kind of look over there and see who's at the door. All right, that's pretty fancy. That's pretty fancy.
Yes. So that is really cool. yeah, so that's kind of a new. I don't personally have it, but that was really neat to play with and even use. So I mean, I think that's kind of becoming a big thing now. And what was kind of cool, giving a little plug out to even the Ring devices, is that we got the Ring Neighborhood Network, and actually she was notified a couple times in the middle of the night that somebody just down the street was picked up on their Ring device breaking into a car. And so that was just a few blocks away. It actually gave her a notification like, hey, there's activity in the area going on. And so that was kind of neat. And
so the neighborhood, so these things are, even though they have really nothing to do with each other, it's almost like say you've got your Google Maps on your phone and you're driving somewhere and it's showing a really congested area. Well, it shows a congested area because of everybody's Google Maps app on their phone. So it's kind of doing the same thing where it's giving you notifications what's going on close in your neighborhood. I don't know if that's awesome and kind of scary at the same time. Honestly,
and it's kind of cool too because it kind of creates a little bit of a community there to where you can actually like people in your neighborhood be like, hey, and I've seen this on hers because I was kind of checking it out, and like, hey, I found dogs or somebody or lost dogs. So it was even like, hey, somebody be on the lookout for these dogs, and so even though we all have Facebook, obviously, but a lot of times this actually kind of dialed it into the actual area where that's surrounded by. So
Ring neighborhood. So and just because you said dogs, it was probably within the last couple of years, our older dog did kind of wander off and get away, and I came into the office and printed out 70 pages with her name and picture on it, and probably till like 1 or 2 in the morning walking and putting these things on there, where if there were a few of these neighborhood Ring devices, because she ended up just going to somebody's porch, and that might have cut right down to the chase, so to say, right? Okay, so I can see that. I can see the valuable on this the valuability. I just made up a word. So that's called the Ring Neighborhood.
Yes, yeah. So and that's kind of an app built into their app that goes along with their Ring device.
Right.
And, so it's kind of cool. But as far as smart homes, I still got the basic stuff. I think. I'm trying to think about. I don't know that I've even added another switch, but it has been on my mind to put in the LED lighting all the way around.
Yes.
So I could tell Alexa disco mode. Not that I'm in the disco.
Yeah.
I at least get to like kind of.
No, I know that's popular, and my daughter asked for some LED lighting strips for her room for Christmas, so I know that's definitely going around. So. But anyway, Aaron, I know some of these things we talked about were kind of planned, but I really like this format where we can go back and forth and be free with the conversation. I just wanted to, anybody out there watching, if you had any tips or about what we talked about or any devices that you've used, or even if it's mental health stuff, anything you think of, always add in the notes. If you have any questions, please definitely let us know. But 2020, it was interesting, so to say, but there were some positive things that come out of it. And we've had some really good shows, and we're going to come out the other end doing okay, right, Aaron?
That's right. So 2021, I'm sure we all have the same mind frame. 2021 is going to be awesome.
That's right.
I can't wait myself, and it's going to be great. So.
Very good. So I guess we are going to just go ahead and wrap this one up. We'll have more shows. I think one of the very first shows possibly in 2021 is what we're going to be aiming for when it comes to shows for that year. We'll see how that goes. Like you mentioned, we're on YouTube now, so that's pretty cool. And like I mentioned before, if you have any questions, go ahead and put them down there. For myself, Jesse, for my friend Aaron, and those who are behind the scenes pushing the buttons, we thank you very much for tuning in this whole year and being a part of the show. We really appreciate it, and we're looking forward to what's to come with this. So thank you very much, everybody.
All right. Have a great holidays and see you in 2021.